Hey, it's Chris and Lisa from Been There, Got Out. We shared a fun Father's Day video with you last week, but meanwhile, the survey responses kept pouring in. So we wanted to get back and do a video responding to some of those again. If you haven't taken the survey, go to beentheregotout.com/survey. It's just 3 questions long, and Lisa and I read the answers every single day.
Okay, so first one. Somebody said, it kills me being away from these kids and not knowing what's going on. I know he doesn't pay full attention to them. He's either on his phone or Xbox. I need to get out of this house to get mine and my kids' life back on track.
Yeah, so that's somebody who's still in the relationship, and I totally sympathize. But the sad part about it is that whether you're still in the relationship or whether you're out of the relationship and sharing custody where sometimes the child or the children are with the other parent, if you're concerned about them being neglected, the concerns can be in either case. So that's a really tough one.
Yeah, I remember when I was in a group of people suffering from the same issue, many of the women in particular, one of the top reasons besides money for not wanting to leave was concern about their partner being alone with the kids and feeling like their kids wouldn't be safe. So this is a really common problem.
Yeah. So sort of in a related comment, somebody said they'd love for us to be able to upgrade the legal system to hold perpetrators more accountable. And Lisa, you can relate to this, right?
Yes, I just had my 50th-ish court appearance in a little over 2 years over Zoom this past week, and I am still waiting to get my orders from 2018 enforced. So I agree. I really wish that the legal system would be upgraded to make these people more accountable, because it is just unbelievable sometimes what they get away with.
It's an enormous problem.
Yeah. Sorry, we can't change that. I'm working on that though. Okay, next, another helpful tip somebody said is that we should enlighten people that bank and finance people should be made aware of your need for discretion. Please don't phone the home number and leave a message that anyone can listen to. That almost blew my plans out of the water.
Right, so yeah, this is a huge problem. If you're going to get out of a toxic relationship and you're going to get out safely, you're going to get out well with your life as intact as possible, it takes careful planning and preparation, and that might involve, financial things, that might involve issues around security of your email or your phone. You need to be really discreet. You want to lie low and go undetected as best as possible. So just specifically about this one person, if you're at the bank and you're doing some kind of transaction that you don't want the partner to know about, just say like, hey, make sure this doesn't generate a phone call or something like that.
Yeah, make sure they have your cell phone number.
And make sure it's legal to do so. I don't know the particulars of everybody's case. So.
Yeah.
So the next one was, I don't know if the controlling behavior is that bad or normal, and if it can change.
And my first thought is, if you're even writing that you don't know if the controlling behavior is that bad, means you know the controlling behavior is that bad. Because you shouldn't be subjected to that kind of abuse, which is particularly power and control over you. So, and if it can change, I think we went over this a couple of weeks ago in our last video dealing with the surveys. If it can change, the person who is doing it will initiate the change. You won't have to beg for the change, and I'm guessing that's probably not happening, so probably not. That goes actually to the very next one, where somebody else said, I want to have the guy I fell in love with be with me, and this other guy be gone for good.
They're the same guy.
Yeah, it's the same guy. Okay, so the problem is, because it's the same guy, you only thought that this guy you're with now was the first guy you were with, where he was probably mirroring, that's the term used, he's reflecting what you want to see in order to get you into the relationship with him and keep you in the relationship with him. Unfortunately, this is a very common form of manipulation. This is one of the 3 topics that we're going to be dealing with in our Lifeboat course, because so many of you voted and said this is an issue everyone has problems with, the top forms of manipulation or common manipulation techniques. So we will be talking about things like that in general. But again, it's the same guy. You're probably wasting your time and spinning your wheels hoping that this other guy will be gone, because that first guy never really existed.
Right, exactly. Like if it started out just great, you know, beyond belief, and then it got bad, 100% of the time, the got bad is the real person.
Yeah.
And the rest was
In these
an
in these types of
Yes.
relationships. Yeah. Okay. So the next person said that she's helped herself a lot by educating herself and realizing that, she says, if I had seen most of the red flags, and chose to ignore them. Right now, I just wish more people understood what narcissism is, as it's very hard to describe what you went through to family and friends.
Yeah, yeah. This is a super, super common issue. And, you know, your family and friends can be great sources of support. But if they haven't gone through the craziness that you're going through, there's just going to be a limit to how much they can help you. Because they're just not going to really understand all the nuts and bolts of why it's happening. That's why you need it, that's why we're building a supportive community of people who are either going through it right now, like you might be, went through it like both of us did, and in many ways still deal with it pretty regularly. Having that kind of support, not as your only support, but as a key pillar of it is just so important.
Yeah, because you're in a crazy situation and most people just really don't get it, as I'm sure not just this person, but the bulk of you watching this video right now completely understand.
Yeah.
Okay, now, next to that is somebody said, how do I deal with his family who are all flying monkeys, aid, abet, enable, and condone and excuse his behavior, and believe, or at least pretend to believe, his lies no matter what I say?
Yeah. So there's a term in there, flying monkeys,
Yes.
and that comes from The Wizard of Oz,
Mm-hmm.
where the witch had these like not people, but monkeys running around doing her work. Yeah. Flying around, doing her work for her. And there are people in a narcissist's life typically who will do their bidding for them. And so this is the flip side of the question from before, right? It's family members who don't get it, but it's your partner's family in this case, in which case they're predisposed to align with your partner rather than you. They're on his or her side of the family. In this case, I think it's his. But they've also probably been subject to that person's manipulation and conditioning for many, many years, probably a lot longer than you have. So it's the other side of that same coin, but these people align against you because they don't understand it.
Also remember, the person you're dealing with came from a family that in some ways helped create him or her. So
Great point.
That's
Great
not
point.
your ally. And that reminds me, actually, during my divorce, my divorce attorney at the time had us do a deposition with one of my ex's family members, and the stuff that came out, my lawyer looked at me and said, I can't believe you've been part of this family, like they're crazy. And I was like, I know, and it's almost like I never really questioned it. So again, don't look to your toxic partner's family to believe and support you, because chances are they probably won't. So yeah, so that goes right to the next one, which somebody says, help me realize I am not the only one who has awoken after 12 years and realized I have been living in some kind of fantasy world of control and manipulation. You are not the only one who has been living in the fantasy world of control and manipulation. I lived there for 20 years.
I was 14.
Yeah, and many people watching this video have been in there a lot longer than you as well. And the people who've been in there for even a much shorter time, it's still shocking. So I promise you, you are not the only one. Far from it.
As a matter of fact, that's the very next question. Or comment.
Yes.
Yeah, just help me know I'm not the only one.
See? It was actually, out of our hundreds of responses, these two were back to back. So, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a constant theme, and it goes back to what we were saying before about having a supportive community. One of the first things you get out of that is like, oh my gosh, all of these people had very similar experiences. And when you say, this is what he or she did, they go, oh, I know mine too.
I know, and you feel so much better. I mean, for both of us, I think that was the very beginning of the healing process, where it was like, this crazy isn't just mine. Like, wow, I can't believe that somebody else had the exact same experience, and you will find that if you stick with us. Okay, what's next?
So the next one is, I gotta say what the question was here. The question in the survey was, what could we do to go above and beyond to help? Right? And there was a response.
Well, actually, first somebody said, you could deposit, Lisa and Chris, if you could give me $1,600 in my bank account, that would help me move out immediately. But I know you probably can't, and sorry we can't, but but we thought that was funny.
So another person, and I've seen this a few times, right? In the survey responses, somebody said some financial assistance would help, but instead, I'll just ask for all of the Been There Got Out team to keep me in your prayers. So you're looking at the Been There Got Out team. It's just the two of us, and all of you in our community are always in our prayers.
Yes, because we know, we so know what it feels like, and we're still going through parts of it ourselves. So we know you're in our prayers. Okay, and another person said, tell me there is a better life. Again, promise you there is a better life. We are living proof of a better life. And that goes to our next and last little thing that we're going to read.
Yeah, so somebody just said, I would like to hear inspiring stories of women who came out the other side as victorious, especially in cases such as mine, where I'm 40, past ideal childbearing years, and here the new woman now has a baby with him.
Well, coincidentally, we have been planning and putting together what we call our Hope video. We've been collecting stories from people all over the world, and not just women. We've had men. By the way, we've had a number of men participate in our detox talks. So, but we've had a lot of people who are talking about how their lives have visibly improved since getting out of a toxic relationship. And in the next couple of weeks, we should be ready this week, but it should go out to you in the next week and a half or so, right?
Yeah. So because so many of you responded, like I said earlier, we took a week off to do that sort of lighthearted Father's Day video last week. Lisa and I are going to try and put out another video like this, where we talked about the survey responses midweek, hopefully Wednesday this week, maybe Thursday morning. But then hopefully by next weekend, we'll finally start to be able to send you some information about our lifeboat course.
Yeah, we are super so excited to get started with that. We're just getting a few little technical things straightened out, and then it's going to be ready.
Absolutely.
And speaking of technical things,
we changed email servers. So our email was basically down from last weekend, Sunday, through maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. So it was right after the Father's Day email went out. So if you replied to that and didn't hear from us, it's because it just got lost when we were changing email providers. So please, we're not ignoring you. We read every single email you send. Please resend it.
Yes, and we will respond.